You need is just your rice paper. I'm using a square sheet, but you can use the round one, any one that is available to you, okay? And then you need some brushes, art brushes. You need a wire gauge. I usually prefer the green one when I'm doing things like this. It's better because it gives you a fitting background, all right? But for now, this is what I have available now. But remember, if you're to do this, just try and get a green floral wire, okay? And then we have our colors. We have green, brown, and blue. And then we have our water and a pair of scissors, okay? So let's get started. Pause it. Okay, so I'm just going to divide my rice paper sheet into two, okay? And then I'll go from one end upward. All right, like this. Then I'm going to make insertion by the side, just to give it some effect, okay? So that you know, your rice paper has two surfaces. One is a bit smooth, while the other side is rough and kind of sticky. So I'm going to be working on the smooth side, okay? Not the part that is rough. This is the back and this is the front. Sheets. This is a silicone mat. So we are placing it on it and then we are painting directly. So I'm going to dip my brush into water just to make sure it's clean so that it doesn't interfere with the color I want to start working with. I have a smaller brush also. I'm going to use this to start off, and I'm starting with blue. I want two shades of blue. I want a deep shade and a light one. So I'm going to dilute my color further to get a lighter shade, which I'm starting with. I'm going to start with the light one in the middle here. I'm just going in circular form. Make sure it's not so wet. Now, each time you apply water on your rice paper, it's going to start tampering with the texture, all right? So be sure that you don't have too much water on it so that you can be able to control your sheet. Applying a deeper shade of blue around it. Just around it. You can already see the contrast, right? Okay, this is the first stage. The second stage will be to apply our brown color around our blue. I have my brown color here. Always ensure that your colors are not so intense. If it's too deep, it will just come out looking very dark and not beautiful. Applying more brown, you can see, because my colors are light, you can actually see each color. You can see this is a light shade of blue, this is a deep shade, and this is brown. So if it's too dark, you may not be able to appreciate each of these colors. That's why you need to keep it light. Okay, this is good enough. Now the main color which is going to form the background of our color is green. Remember, start with a light stroke. Always be sure that your color is not so deep. This is perfect. At this point, my rice paper is beginning to get a bit distorted because it's becoming wet, which is good. You can see it's actually lifting from the mat because the water on it is affecting the texture already. So just be careful you don't have too much water on it. When the water is too much, you may not be able to control it, okay? At the same time, if you don't have enough water, if it's not a bit wet or properly wet, you may not be able to move around it easily. So this is it. Now there will be no need for you to paint the other side of it. You know why? Your color is just going to appear behind it. All your colors are going to appear behind it, just like this. You can see that. So you may not need to flip over to start doing the same thing here. So as you can see, we are already having, you see how soft it's becoming. So I still feel comfortable with it. It's not so, it's not yet uncontrollable. So I can still just wait a little. Beautiful. These are accessories you can make ahead of time. You can keep them for as long as you can. Each time you have a job, just bring out one. Bring out as many as you have. Decorate your cakes with it. And you're good to go. Now I want to attach my wire gauge. Now I have to do it at this point. You know, if your wire gauge is too, it's not up to half of the length of your rice paper, by the time it dries, you may just have it looking like this. Can you see this? You may just have it bending. But this is still good. This is still another effect on its own. It's not all leaves that stands up straight, okay? But for a leaf, this is perfect. I don't want all my leaves to be standing straight. I want some to have this kind of effect. But if I want all of it to stand straight, then it means I'll need to take my wire gauge up to beyond the center of the length of my rice paper, okay? So I'm going to just push this up a little. Can you see what I'm doing here? Are you seeing me now? Now, this is not down. Remember, this is the whole length we have. So we're going to place it like up to this point. This is more than half, so that it can stand firm, all right? And you want to do that as soon as you can, because if it's dry, you may not be able to stick it. So I have positioned it, and then I'll just add some more water at the middle to secure it. So I'm just going to be painting, applying more of my water, green color on it to soften it a bit. So gently, I'm going to press this down. Yeah, it's becoming soft. I'm going to gently press this down until it is secure. Yeah, I'm gently pressing it down. You know, the rice paper gets really active when it's wet. So you don't want to overweight it so that you don't lose control of it. So this place has stopped. I'm just going to do the same here. Okay. So now it's secured. I'm going to just twist it like this. Now this twist has firmly put it together, okay? Okay. We are just going to allow it to dry. And this really doesn't take a long time to dry, okay? While this is getting ready, we can do a second one quickly, so that maybe a short one this time. stick your skewer stick if this is not convenient for you. It's just to wait for it to dry a bit, the surface. You flip over, okay? Then you place your skewer, your wire gauge on it behind. Then you just cut a narrow sheet from your, very thin sheet from your rice paper. Not so thick, just a thin sheet. You place it on it, and then you apply your just the way you attach your floral wire to your flowers. And then you wait for it to dry up. Not like this, it will stay. Just leave it, it will stay when it's dry. That was how this one stayed. Okay,